All right, hey, welcome to Black on Black. You know, we decided to go a little bit militant, man, because me and my boy Addy G here have been doing some shows together and everything. He's been appearing on Love Language, which is not on today, so we thought we would shoot this. And last time we talked about, it hasn't aired yet, but it will. We were talking about blaxploitation films.
Yeah,
because we were inspired by another show, Classics Capsule, with Sean McKinnon and everything. And like, just said, yo, maybe we should just do like, you know, like something. This blaxploitation is really interesting, and you know, we could take a film and you know do that. So I mean, on the one hand, is I was thinking that what we do is we chosen Do the Right Thing.
Yeah.
You know, which is like kind of like the film that inspired it all. You know, I was just saying about being a part of the Black Filmmaker Foundation and stuff like that when it came out in '89. But we also talk a little bit about Spike and the people that are involved in the film.
Yeah,
and everything
yeah.
else. So I mean, I didn't say my name, but you know me, Chase the Hijacker with Addy G. That rhyme too.
That's it.
Black on Black. Like man, Donald. Black on Black. So yeah, man, Do the Right Thing. I thought was a really excellent choice. You picked it because, like, you know, when we said what film should we talk about, that we could kind of like wax lyrical on and everything. So tell me, what inspired you about Do the Right Thing? Your first initial, you know, feelings about it. Before we break it down.
First initial feelings.
Yeah.
Here's what, right? I was very young when this show came out. Like,
Yeah,
very,
go ahead.
I didn't
Show
think
off, man. We know.
I was allowed to see it traditionally at the time.
Really?
So what we had was video stores back in Trinidad.
Man, Blockbusters. Who don't remember Blockbusters?
Yeah, but in Trinidad, it's kind of bootleg.
It's kind of like
So, it's
Momaco's hut.
So yeah, a video store.
I can see it.
Just the library you go to, and they have all these videos, and you rent it for $2 or $3, whatever you want, right? And I snuck and I got to Do the Right Thing. The person didn't say anything because my parents knew the owner of the store, so they just thought whatever. But I got it and I watched it, and my first impression was, damn. That really was. That was such an amazing movie, especially at someone. I think the most I might have been would have been 11 at that time, you know. But that show, you know, it showed for me where we're supposed to be, you know.
Where we could be.
Yeah, because there was a perspective of that time. There were a lot of movies where there was always a negative slant on black actors and how they played. Very few of them got to play a positive role. You know, you had to be a huge star like Sidney Poitier or something to get a real role, and they were always like gangsters and stuff like that. At this time, you were able to get to see a real community, you know,
A microcosm.
And although all this just happened literally in one day, this show packed so much into it, you know, that even now, if you go and watch this show today, you'll still feel a lot of raw emotion.
I mean, you know, when you talk about like microcosm or seeing a community, I mean, one of the best things about this film, you know, is the Steadicam action.
Yeah.
You know, the DP Ernest Dickerson, because what it does is Spike Lee, you know, he's a pizza delivery guy.
Yeah.
And delivering pizza in his own neighborhood.
Are we starting to talk about the show now?
What?
Let's just.
Well, you know, we swim, bro. We swim. But I was talking about really like, all right, my initial reaction. Okay, then yeah. As I said, like I just had, you know, like read you out this letter. You know, like I was a filmmaker. I was a lot older than you. I was just out of college, you know, in '89, and I was aimless. You know, like what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And all of this kind of stuff. And like one of the things were that, you know, I, you know, applied for this thing called the BFF, which is Black Filmmaker Foundation.
Yeah.
And like you know, you can put like a resume out and everything. You could go on, and so people are looking for other, you know, Black filmmakers and stuff. Then I went into the underworld. We don't need to talk about what the underworld is. I couldn't survive in the underworld though. Like I came out of the underworld real quickly.
Yeah.
I was like Orpheus, not caring about Persephone being back there. You know what I'm saying? And I got home and I had like 2 messages on my answer machine, both from the Blind Filmmaker Foundation where people saw me, and I had an opportunity to make a TV show and a film and stuff like that. So it was kind of like, it was a really, what? Me? Who am I? But that was the whole thing. Spike Lee opened us up to this world of possibilities.
Yeah.
You know, his first film, She's Gotta Have It, really kicked serious ass. You know what I mean? Then the second film didn't do as well, School Days, and I was in college, and you know, we were all, you know, brothers doing the stepping and like the Alpha Dogs. But Do the Right Thing was the world builder, man, or the world crusher. So my initial reaction to it was mind blown.
Yeah, but you see, and if you watch now, what I realize is, and if you think back, Spike Lee was just dipping his feet into the career, you know?
Yeah.
And you will have these really good shows and these really not so good shows. And he was able to, you know, bring something really good out of that.
Yeah, but the main thing is that, last thing I'll say before we move into it is that if you give people the chance, right?
Yeah.
Which means that what they did was open the door. They opened the door to a whole community of people who became star-studded actors afterwards. And that's what we're going to talk about when we break it down. It's like the people that were in this movie were first-timers, you know what I mean? And believe it or not, we're talking about people like Samuel L. Jackson. So,
Martin
you know,
Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence, you know what I mean? So these people, you know, this was their first opportunities, as well as you're talking about the old dogs like Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis coming in.
Yeah.
So it was that kind of respect to the past and that, you know, launch it to the future. So Do the Right Thing. All right. So the plot of this story is what Spike often did with his first 2 films is put himself as the lead character. He's a pizza delivery guy, right? In the neighborhood of Brooklyn, right? Which Brooklyn is famous for those kind of like stoops. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, I mean, you know, if you're from New York, I always tell people, everybody say, yeah, I was always going to New York and everything. Go to Brooklyn, man. I mean, because, you know, that's the place to see. But you see it come alive in color, right, in this movie. So, Ernest Dickerson, what I was saying before, shot a lot of stuff on Steadicam, right? And, you know, the way we see the world is because Spike is constantly on the move. He's constantly making deliveries, constantly talking to people, constantly stopping and chatting. And we see all the different types of people and all the different ethnicities of people as well. You know, and that was what, I mean, nobody's seen the film in that kind of concept before. It's kind of like theater, but, you know, on film. So what do you think?
I want to answer you, but I want to go a little bit before the film.
Before the film?
I want to go at the opening of the film.
Okay, go to the opening of the film. Oh, are you talking about Rosie Perez?
Perez.
All right.
Yeah, and that dance that she had before, which was at least 5 minutes before anything. That set the tone.
That whole power dance.
That set the tone, you know, of you know, this woman.
Wait. The song is "Fight the Power" by Public Enemy, bro.
I didn't want to say it. You see, that's why
you could sing it. All right, let's say it.
That's why I paused
Fight the
song.
You know? Yeah. So yeah, it was this opening credit sequence never seen before. You know, I mean, not just from the colored title sequence, but from this dance sequence that was full on raw dog power.
Yeah.
This really launched Rosie Perez's career because right after this, we got In Living Color, which was a very popular sketch show, which launched Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
Right? And the Wayans brothers, unfortunately. But Rosie Perez became their, you know, musical coordinator, dance choreographer, and that's based on this opening sequence.
Yeah. So it started with this very harsh, aggressive dance, and then it comes up to this, to Mookie in bed, right? And it's talking about how this day is going to start. You don't know how this day is going to start.
It's hot.
Yeah, what I mean. You don't know how this day is going to start because all you hear is the announcer.
Right.
And he's giving a commentation throughout the whole day, right? So he is like, cause apparently where he is, where the radio station is, he can see the entire block.
Right down at the end of the street.
And you could see him almost like, you know, in Greek theater,
Yeah,
there's like the chorus.
Yeah, the Greek chorus. Yeah.
And they give like what's happening and who could, you know, he gives this moral argument all the time, and you see his mood change
And played by
throughout the
who?
course of the stage. Samuel L. Jackson, who, if I'm not mistaken, they said that he has been in more movies than anybody else. Yeah.
Not at this time. Not at this time. Samuel Jackson's career was launched by Spike.
No, oh, sorry, not at this time. I mean now.
Oh yeah, of course.
That's
Now
what
that's what I just said. His career was launched by Spike. I mean, you know, he played the DJ because the DJ, oh, that's the truth, Ruth.
Yeah,
Or that's the double truth, Ruth. You know, that kind of stuff. And he was clearly the Greek chorus. It wasn't the first time it was done, but it was first time it was done really well within this concept of seeing the world.
It had two of them. It had them. If you remember, there were three guys. On this,
yeah.
And they were almost like a Greek chorus too. I
Yeah.
think we're jumping all over the place.
We are.
We need to rate it in a little bit.
A little bit. So the opening.
Let me ask you a question. What to you was a pivotal point of the story?
Pivotal.
Yeah.
Well, see, now that would cause us to jump even more. Just deal with the story and context, man. Because, you know, the pivotal thing is going to be, let's say, when I said that Spike is working as a pizza delivery guy, right? And like you said, it does open with him, right?
Yeah.
He enters the world and he walks the streets of Brooklyn, of his block. But so not only do you have the DJ and the radio station at the end of the block, but also you have the pizza place, right? So the pizza place is really an integral point because this is where you get Danny Aiello, John Turturro, and the other guy who was on Richard Edson and everything like that.
Yeah.
And so they're an Italian family in Brooklyn with a pizza place.
Yeah.
Now, Daniel waxes on about how, you know, we've been here since I've seen these kids grow up and, you know, and everything. And
Which is a
he
touching
feels
part
integral, but he doesn't feel that they are actually a part of him in a way. It's really weird. I mean, Spike, in this dialogue with this, was really weird because he loves these people, but he's separated from them. In essence, like, it's like, you know, because he's like, you know, I love these people and everything like that. But then his son, played by John Turturro, hates these people.
Yeah.
Hates the fact that they have to come into this neighborhood to make these pieces for these people.
Yeah.
So their arguments of conflict in the three.
But then the other son, the young one, Vito,
He loves
he
these
loved
people.
it.
So it's kind of like you got a great isosceles triangle conflict in that one family where Mookie keeps coming in as the pizza delivery guy.
Yeah.
But he makes his own rules. He walks to the beat of his own drum. And they're always complaining, like, whoa, where you at? How come it takes you so long to make one delivery?
I didn't realize that that's one day and he maybe delivered 2 pizzas.
But then, you know, how many people want pizzas on a hot day? You know, so he realizes that. So he's like, you know what? I don't want to sit in this place. I'm gonna go out. So he's constantly on the move.
Yeah.
And they're like, what's going on with you, man? But it was perfect to kind of like be able to identify the world through different people's eyes.
Yeah.
So, you know, he would be like, you know, not exactly like judgmental of the son Turturro, who, you know, he's kind of like, look, man, I'm just trying to understand you, man. You know what I mean? Because you talk black, you act black, you know. He's like, I don't do that, you know.
It really talked about like race dynamics at the time.
Yeah.
And it is a very strong. What he was able to do was to hit racism in its face.
Yeah.
It wasn't a tiptoe or anything like that. He was able to say things that he knew people really wanted to say.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was so familiar where I don't think any other director would have gotten away with it. There was this part in the show where black, white, the Koreans, and the Hispanics, and everybody was shaming each other.
Yeah, that's all they do.
That was like for me, and it was done in a way where the actor just looked straight at the screen. You understand?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you're gonna keep this or whatever, but it says, "You piece of trash, da 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 da, and
Yeah,
you
just
know,
don't
it's
use
a-
the N-word, bro. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that was really good because the Korean market, which is also another thing, you have the bodega, the Korean market, and all that, which is a product of this like street and this neighborhood.
yeah,
What was interesting is that the other nationalities felt separate because the blacks made them feel separate.
yeah,
But they kept trying to say, we've been here as long as you, right? We're the same. Like, you know, that fight, that time with the Korean guys, like, look, we're the same. And they got, you're not the same as me, you know?
Okay.
And it's like, but I am. I live here.
Yeah.
I've always lived here. Before you lived here, you know? And it was really wild because mainly the frustration and the stress was rising with the heat.
yeah,
Now, I was telling somebody the other day, I didn't even if I was telling Donald, was like, New York in the summer is it's an oven, right? It's the freaking hottest place on earth, it feels like sometimes.
I would hedge the
And-
bet to say Texas, but carry on.
Well, okay, Arizona, well, it's a dry heat. But either way is that New York in the summer is a boiling egg. So tensions were rising throughout the day and everything, and it was going to explode at some point. But let me go to your other Greek chorus because I had found out the names and stuff. So, like, they had 3 old guys sitting on the corner,
Yeah,
right? And if you're from the hood or any hood, hopefully, probably in any hood, this happens. You always got the old guys just sitting out there, you know, watching everybody, and they've been there forever.
exactly.
They play dominoes, play cards, they just chit chat and
talk.
people watch. But this, you know, my favorite was Sweet Dick Willie, played by comedian Robin Harris, because you know most of his stuff is ad-libbed.
Yeah,
You know, and the other two, Frankie Faison and Paul Benjamin, more than likely would just kind of like to chime in. I really don't think Spike even bothered writing dialogue for these 3 guys because it's like, look, dude, you know where you are. Like, you see the scene taken unfold in front of you. Can you say something about it? You know, in that kind of Greek chorus way and everything, which they had done and stuff. And again, their careers were launched, you know,
No, but
by all of this.
I think that Paul Benjamin died not long after that.
Yeah. That's tragic, yeah.
That was like, you have the wise men on the corner.
Like,
That's
you're
what
right,
they were.
yeah.
And the whole deal is, if you listen to the conversation, they all said the same thing. So it kind of like echoed down the line. You know, it was a really good. I like how they, to skip to the end to focus on them. I really like how Paul Benjamin's character confronted the Koreans
Yeah.
at the end.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and I was listening to something just the other day, and it talked about how in America there was blacks and whites,
Yeah.
and it started to come over when they started to get more people from like Poland and stuff like that, and they was never seen as white if they came to England, but when they came to America they were seen as white.
Yeah.
So what happened is that it had this group of people who was able to segregate themselves,
Yeah.
but it was tricky for Asians and for Jews.
Yeah.
Those are who it was tricky for, and it showed that because I've seen a lot of movies where they call Chinese people, you know, the N-word,
Yeah.
right? And it's that kind of dynamic. I think it started there when, you know, the guy said, I am just like you, we are the same thing,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
fighting the same struggle,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
It was interesting too. Let's go again about the police. Because
Yeah,
the police,
you know what? I was right on it, bruv. I was right on it.
Yeah.
So, the 2 cops, Rick Aiello and Miguel Sandoval, also,
Yeah.
Rick Aiello's Danny's son, first of all.
yeah,
Miguel Sandoval went on to do a lot of TV, you know, like
yeah,
Gleam and
he
stuff like
became
that.
quite popular.
But this was great because, you know, police arrive and it's a slow moving shot of the police car.
Yeah.
You know, with the sunglasses and, you know, being black and from the hood, you're like, right?
Please.
Yeah,
Is
you
your
know.
police fan in
Yeah,
any
yeah,
shape
yeah,
or
yeah.
form you freeze.
But what was classic was because remember this is '98, but also I grew up in the '70s. So what's classic was I don't know if you guys ever did this here, but like what people would do they would open the hydrant,
Yeah, I know.
you know, and like spread the water out in the streets and everybody go out because it's so freaking hot, right? And stuff like that because I haven't really seen a hydrant in England, so that's why I said I don't know if you did it here. but this is what they would do common. So the cops come along to turn off the hydrant. Bastards. Right? But what happens is that this guy, Frank Vincent, who was one of those Italian guys from like a Goodfellas type of thing, you know, you could see him hanging out with Robert De Niro or whatever. He played a little small part where he's driving. He's like, "Hey, turn off the hydrant," because he's got a convertible.
Yeah.
And this is where Martin Lawrence is in this thing because he got a lisp and everything. He said, "Don't do that, just because of me." You know, he's talking like that guy from Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. He's like, turn that off, and everything. And then so they turn it off. And then as he's driving by, they turn it back on, like the spray. So then he's like, furious. But the cops come along at that time, and it's like he's like, "Hey, what are you gonna do about my car?" And the cops are like, "Yeah, I don't know what else can we do." Now, on the one hand, they're kind of like defending, the white guy, the Italian, but on the other hand, they're like, "Look, man, these people are gonna do what they're gonna do."
And stuff.
But
but it's not only that.
And the film is filled with those kind of moments. Is what I'm trying to say.
It is.
Yeah.
But what I want to talk about is that the cops in the beginning of the story, they were part of the community. If you get what I mean, they came there, they know the kids, pop the thing, they don't really care, they leave it on for a second, they watch and they say, "Hey, don't put it on again," in a kind of way that
I got rules, I follow my rules, I'm like the Blue Knight,
I think it was more like, "Hey, don't do this again." But in your mind, you're going to come back in 2 hours to switch it off again. You know what I mean? Like,
no.
So they felt the cops turned from that, and as you said, as they got hotter and hotter, it got worse to the end.
Well, yeah. We'll get that. So, like, the thing about it is that let's talk about the colors before we talk about radio. The colors, this set off the trend for the next, 10, 20 years. Being that this was a film about color and everything else like that, Spike Lee chose to make the color palette extreme in the clothing. So everybody's wearing yellows and purples, and it's like nobody would be wearing yellows and purples. You know what I mean? You're a kid, you're wearing black. You know what I mean?
Let's say this though. I would have to maybe blame that film. Kid and Play, House Party. I could blame those films for changing how we dress.
Okay, changing how we dress. Okay, but see, Kid and Play was still funky in their dress, right? As opposed to in Do the Right Thing, it was all about these extreme bright colors. Everybody's in the 4-color palette, right? Like as a comic book in a way, you know what I mean? And that's what I'm just trying to point out is like that just set the trend for everything that followed. In this idyllic world, this idyllic microcosm, where you got the Cosby Show and Different World and all these other Martin, right? All these other shows had followed suit with that. As if like the producers of Hollywood said, "Well, don't you wear yellows and purples and reds?" Not on the street, bro. You want to see somebody running around on the street in the yellows, but I guess you would now and everything, But that's just because that's our mindset. But then also too is that, so now we get to Radio Raheem, who is like I wouldn't say he's the inciting incident, but he's like kind of like the reason, the through line for everything. So this is played by Bill Nunn, who you guys will know as he was in Spider-Man, Robbie Robertson, J. Jonah Jameson's sidekick, and everything. Oh yeah, but I mean, everybody says Spider-Man. So he's Radio Raheem, and he's walking around with a boombox, right? And he commands respect wherever he goes because he's a giant, right?
No, I think, I'm thinking that he wasn't a giant.
No, but he looks like they shot him that way.
But that's what I'm saying. Spike Lee shot him to make him bigger, to look bigger than everybody else, to make him look almost threatening throughout the entire show.
Yeah.
The only time it kind of balanced is the first time when he went to Sal's.
Yeah. And
then you could have seen this a boy when he was next to Sal.
Well, yeah, that's true. But then also too, that's also probably Sal's point of view of him as well, because Sal's probably seen him grow up as a boy. And that's also what's tragic about what happens. But like, so then he has the rings, right? The love-hate rings that is kind of like inspired by that old black and white movie, You know, I can't remember the name of it. Where he had the love and hate. Richard Burton. Anyway, but he had the love hate rings and everything, and he's just supposed to be like the guy that everybody knows and likes. And he goes to Sal's for a pizza and everything. Things kick off, the heat and everything else like that. And you know, he gets into an altercation and stuff. Now,
but that was kind of, I think he had a journey. He had more of a journey in the show because he was there, like they showed everybody's reaction to his music.
yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Right. Fight the power, and again, it's you can't mince it. It's not a violent song.
No.
You know, it's right up there with fuck the police. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
So they showed he went to all the neighborhoods, and I like the way how Spike Lee built him up as almost like a monster, as you said.
Mm-hmm,
He went to the Hispanic neighborhood. He played this music. They had like, you know, DJ wars, whatever. He won,
Yeah.
and he just walked off because he didn't really care anyway. You know, he was that kind of figure over.
So, I mean, look, noticing the time, I just want to get to two other characters. We got Giancarlo Esposito playing Bugging Out, right? And Giancarlo Esposito was in Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
And we got Roderick Guinevere Smith playing Smiley, the guy who was, you know, we don't want to use those words anymore, but SEN, like he couldn't, you know, he had like cerebral palsy type of thing and everything. And like now, both of these characters are important because they provide the politics of the situation where Bugging Out is always trying to like cause riot.
Yeah, we all have that.
And the thing about it is the fact that so he's the one who sets it off where, you know, he goes, how come there ain't no black brothers on the wall and stuff like that. And Sal was like, look, this when you get your own place, you can put black brothers or you can put, you know, whatever you want on the wall, man. This is my place, and this is what you get. You get the Italians, man, you know, and you know, and so he said, oh, everybody start boycotting Sal. Boycott Sal's I love butter bing.
Yeah.
You know? But then you also have Smiley, who is walking around with a picture of the greatest peacemakers of all time, which is Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, you know, coming together. So, you know, you can see that he's trying to bring peace into the neighborhood while Bugging Out is trying to bring chaos. You know what I mean? So,
I never even thought that.
Well, yeah, but because it all comes down to that in the end, where when the fire happens, you know, what Smiley does is he puts up the picture of peace on the wall. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, listen, we all need to calm down.
What Bugging Out did too was he instigated Smiley and
yeah, he instigated everybody. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah.
You know, because again, he went around to everybody else to see what fish would bite with his radical stuff.
Yeah. And then people say, yo,
Smiley,
man, you gotta stop bugging out. You know what I mean?
So that's when he was able to get these two people to come along with him. Yeah. And at the end of the day, you could see that the pressure from Sal had built to such a high level that all he did when he walked in with the boombox was to smash it. You know? And that's when you say, oh, that's when you see the strength of Radio Raheem.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, I was like, oh, that's how you're gonna behave, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but then again, is so coming down to the end, that's where we get the murder, right? And we say it's the murder because what's horrible is like it wasn't Fredrickson. It was like some guy. Remember that story? It was like a year ago about the black guy who was strangled. But he was strangled by the cops and couldn't breathe, and they choked him out in front of a store.
I don't remember his name, but
yeah. This is what happened with Radio Raheem. It's kind of like trying to restrain somebody who you're presenting as a big man, but like you said, it's probably actually a small man. And like, you know, and they choke him out and everything. And you know, it's horrible because when everybody sees it and he represents this person that everybody from all communities liked, that's what creates the riot. You know, which we, you know, all are familiar with. There was always some type of impetus of a riot of rage. The Detroit riots, the Watts riots, even here in the Natasha riots. You know, and it always comes from some form of injustice to someone in one community,
Yeah.
and then it spreads out into that community and it becomes a blazing, and like, you know, and that's what happened in this movie, and it was perfectly set up and done, you know. And Spike's character, you know, who thought he could just stay above everything, he thought he could just tread water,
Yeah.
you know, he's the one who actually makes a choice, which is why what he does is when he picks up, when Radio Raheem did the Love Hate,
Yeah.
he tells, you know, Mookie he has to make a choice. And so in the end, what he does is he makes a choice. So when he picks up the can, he says hate and everything when he throws it. You know what I mean? And then, but it doesn't blow up, like the neighborhood's not destroyed, but, you know, it's kind of like it's released, like you know, like gas. You know, it's like everybody explodes, but then we get to the next day.
Settling.
Yeah, we get to the next day, and it's just going to be another day. They lost somebody, you know, in the neighborhood, but then we get that final scene between Spike and Sal. What did you think about the final scene where he throws the money at him?
I want to think of that little arc of storytelling to be so perfect.
Yeah.
Because, yeah, Radio Raheem comes in, puts the thing on the other, smashes it. Him and Sal start to fight. It goes outside and they're fighting. The police come, right? They take off Sal and they throw him aside. And they're fighting what you would imagine to be Goliath in a sense. Because you built him up to this. And for half of that tussle with the police, you're okay with it. You want to get, you know, again, you just want to break them up. And as a kid, he's fighting back, you know. You're okay with it until he dies, right? And he's dead. And you don't know, at that point in the story, you don't know how to feel or how to react. The police don't know what to do. Nobody knows what to do. They pick him up and put him in the back of the car. No, he's not dead. No, he's not dead. He's just sleeping, whatever. Kick him, that kind of thing.
Yeah, just,
you know? And so, yeah, as you said, Spike Lee goes, chooses, there's love him. And what happened? Also, Sal was there while he was shooting him, says, hey, you're killing him, you're killing the boy.
Yeah.
He goes up and he says, picks up the garbage thing, bursts it through the window, you know? And when that happens and people go in and start to break down the place, you feel sorry for Sal. Like, there's a good 5-6 minutes where, yeah, Radio Raheem died, but you feel sorry for Sal.
Because you followed his journey.
Yeah, you feel so sorry for Sal. You know, the little bits of, I want to say, acceptable racism we get from Sal.
Yeah.
Made us sympathetic enough.
Yeah, but it's the destruction of the American business. You know, like his business,
Like
his mom and pop's small
but
business
break
is
his heart.
destroyed. But this is what I'm trying to say is, it's kind of like, you know, it's a really hot day, it's really stressful, but he didn't have to get his business destroyed. Everybody didn't have to do that.
And
And that's why it was great is you saw some of the reactions of other people, like the girl with the headphones. You know what I mean? And everything, you know, who's crying. You know, like, people didn't hate on Sal. It's like, it was the cops who, you know, like, choked out Raheem and everything like that. So, and also, too, is, last thing I'll say is, I took criminal law, you know what I mean? And there was this thing called the diffusion of responsibility. And, like, where they give you a case study of, like, a woman getting raped in an apartment complex, in an open, you know, area of an apartment complex. But there are all these windows, so there's got to be a witness, right? She's screaming and all that kind of stuff. And like what they say is that you have to account for, there's always going to be, when a horrible act takes place, there's always going to be that diffusion of responsibility where somebody's going to say, somebody else will make the call.
Yeah.
They'll close the curtains, you know, close the windows, you know what I mean? Somebody might shout out and hide, right? But won't call the police in time. And so here you have everybody surrounding the police killing this kid, right? And everything, they're yelling. Who's actually holding them back? I mean, there's only 2 cops, right? Maybe there's another 3 or 4 cops.
Yeah.
But, you know, seriously, who's holding them back? So it's that deal of like, they didn't know it was going to that level and everything. And then when it did, you know, that's, you know, when should we act? When should we get involved?
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, again, on time, I just
preparation for this, I watched it twice.
Mhm.
Right. At the first time I remember watching it fully, as I said, I started to feel sad when Sal got when everything was happening to Sal.
Yeah.
And then it hit me back at the end where Mookie comes back and says, "But the man is dead."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but see again, that's Mookie doesn't change.
No.
In the attack mode, he's like, "What you gonna do about that time?" He's like, "What can I do?" Sal's upset.
Yeah.
And that is why, like Mookie says, "I want my money," right? So, oh fuck, okay, you want your money? You want your money? My place is destroyed. And he starts throwing the money here. He starts throwing the rolled up money at him, right? But it's like, look, I'm upset too.
Yeah.
Right? But instead of getting cheesy or, sappy or whatever, they just left it. But it was funny how Spike came back for the money that was on the ground.
I'm not going to leave money. What the hell you doing?
But I'm pretty sure that he went to work for Sal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you had to ask yourself what happened on the next day, I'm pretty sure that everything went back to normal and Mookie's back working at Sal.
Before he goes, all I'm really trying to get at is the storytelling aspect of it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Being able to feel something and then having to catch yourself at the end.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally did.
Because I said the first time I watched it, I felt bad for Sal.
Yeah.
And then it's like, but wait, somebody just died.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where do you put your attention?
But I mean, either way, movie made for $6 million, which was like a lot of money back then. This is not the age of $100 million movies, and it gained 37 in the box office. So
37 million.
Yeah.
37 million.
Off of
and
everybody made their money back.
And added 240 because I paid.
Add your 240. All right, that's all good. So either way, I I really enjoy breaking down Do the Right Thing. I mean, it's a classic.
Yeah.
It is a modern classic and everything.
It's one of the top 100 films ever. I think it's in the 80s.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Spike's career went downhill from there, but it was all good. Either way you look at it, is great film, great sharing that we there, righty. So that's Addy G. I'm Chase the Hijacker. This is Black on Black. And hopefully, we'll come back with another great film to talk about and everything next time we see you. Yeah?
Yeah, cheers. Definitely.
All right, so we could wait. We could do in liver cover. So this has been 2 snaps in a circle. Yeah. All right.
Oh.